What does your self-talk look like? Because you have this beautiful picture of what you want, of the Thanksgiving table in 20 years and the big impact you can make. So in the hard moment when you're scrubbing dishes and you don't feel good and you're having a tough day, like, what are you saying to yourself? Because you're like, you still want more kids.
Yeah.
So what motivates you specifically?
Choose your heart. I do not think life is supposed to be easy, chill, straightforward, anything. That is not the way it has ever been.
So why do you tell people not to get a vasectomy or close their mind to having more children before 3?
Because you don't know how good you're going to be at it. I think everyone thinks they can't do it. Like, I see you guys, you're stressed all the time. You have all these kids. I'm like, it's hard, but it's also beautiful. Don't pick how many kids you want to have because it fits in a car.
You are a family who does not do snacking between meals, and you also are not into sleep schedules and napping, which is something that stresses a lot of moms out. So I just want you to free up some moms here. Hi mamas, my name is Megan Norkis and welcome to Our Virtual Village. Starting this podcast was inspired by a local mom group that I went to during my pregnancy and postpartum journey. Connecting with and relating to other moms was a major key for me as I was navigating all the new things that come with being a new mom. So my goal with this podcast is to bring those conversations and stories from my community to a virtual platform, and that's gonna bless moms everywhere. I'm so excited. My hope is that as you listen to this episode, you can hear from and learn about the common struggles that other moms are having in the trenches of motherhood with you, and feel encouraged because you're not momming alone. We're all winging it at this mom thing, and we can all learn from and help each other. So we're excited to have you as part of our village, and let's dive into the conversation. Well, that's a perfect bridge into the other thing that I'm really excited to talk about, which is your desire for a big family. Because I've listened to this talk that you and your husband did multiple times and I also forced my husband to listen to it, and so that we're on the same page, because you're very honest about how tough this season is with little kids.
Oh, yeah.
But you're doing it as a time investment for the family table. That's how you say it.
I'm obsessed with Thanksgiving in 20 years. I'm obsessed with it.
So you're not doing it because you love having a chaotic house right now. You're doing it because you want lots of kids, lots of grandkids, a big family. Like, tell me more about that vision and what drives you in the craziest moments.
Dr. Vin said, I think you're my wife. And I said, you're 11, because he's 9 years younger than me. What are you thinking? And he was like, no, I really think God is telling me you're my wife. And I was like, well, bro, maybe we should date. And he goes, we can date, but I'm going to marry you. And my husband, when he decides something, it's over. So I didn't know that then, but I know that now. When he's 100% on something, there's no budging that man. And so when we had this conversation, I was like, well, I have a lot of requirements. And he was like, yeah, tell me. And one of them was I wanted to have 8 kids. I said, I want to have 8 kids. He goes, why not 9? I said, excuse me? He goes, why not 9? 9's a baseball team. He loves baseball. And I was like, all right, bro, let's roll. I said, also, I'm older than you. So if we did get married, we need to go right now. We can't have this let's be married for 3 years and then we'll get to know each other and then have a kid when we're financially better in our career. I was like, that's not happening. That's not, no.
Get married, make a baby.
Get married, have kids, be fruitful, multiply. So the Lord says to do. And so we had this conversation, and I don't think he really got it. He's always wanted kids, and he wanted me. Mm-hmm. So he's like, yes. And I was like, I'm moving to Jacksonville. He was like, great. I said, it's called Slancha Chiropractic. He's like, awesome. He's like, I can see it in lights. I'm like, you won't want to go back to New York? He's like, I hate snow. I was like, cool. And there was a couple other things we talked about. And our prenup is that he does the dishes and I do the laundry, which he is still mad about to this day because dishes happen 3 times a day and laundry is a weekly activity. So not with 8 kids, though. It'll be a lot more often. But when we talked about what our mission was, is that we wanted to have a family that made an impact, mm-hmm. and that we wanted to have a family team, and we wanted to be a force for Christ, and we wanted to be a force of good in a world that is rampant with evil. And you can't do that without a squad and the people that you can rely on. So in the Bible, Abraham goes into his house and he has to go rescue someone. And I never remember the person's name, right? So I'm not going to be wrong on a recorded thing. But if you go read your Bible. And so he goes in and he pulls hundreds of warriors out of his own household. Because in that time, the custom was you marry into this family, they added a room to the house, room to the village. He has a whole village, hundreds of warriors he had because they were in his family. And so that picture of when we need something, when our family is facing something that we just need to show up, go into it, and everyone will come. That's what we want to build. We want to build that Abrahamic legacy of a family. And so to do that, the biggest thing is to have children and to raise them up in the way that they should go. And this little time where they are treacherously hard, so hard, is the smallest season of your life. You will spend more time with your kid as an adult, God willing, than you ever will as a child, with opinions and all that. And so we are making strong men and strong women, women who love families, women who want to serve their husbands, men who want to die to themselves for their wives. Like, that's what we want to do. We want to bring back that beauty. And if I could do that with one kid, I could do that with 2 kids. But if I did it with 8 kids, and those 8 kids or 5 kids, whatever, I always say if I have 5 kids and they have 5 kids, then I have 25 grandkids. And those 25 grandkids have 5 kids. And I think math is 125. And so in 2 generations, if we steward the resources that God's trusted us with, then the impact that we can have on our city, on our state, on our country, and on the world is humongous.
Yeah.
And it started with a decision my husband and I made to open our womb to the Lord and say, here we are. Pick us, trust us.
Yeah.
And we screw up a lot of stuff, guys. Like, we are not winning. We are yellers. Okay. We're not gentle parenters. We mess up. We have to humbly apologize to our kids all the time and to each other, but we are being trusted with much. These are the talents I feel like God is trusting us with. And that allows us to be an impact for a generation. So we are thinking about our great-great-grandkids more than we are our kids.
Yeah.
Like, we are stewarding our children so that we are part of our grandchildren's life. And we don't want, most people, if they think about their parents, they know their parents, but they don't know those parents' parents. Like, they can't say their names.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing, but when you read the Bible, what is it? It's
lineage.
These people, lineage. These people had these people, and these people had these people, and these people had these people. Like, it was so important where Jesus came from the line of David, right? And so we want to be the people in the line that everyone's like, well,
Points back to them.
Your great-great-grandparents took a stand in our family, broke these generational curses, created these generational blessings, and you're living in that today.
That's huge.
It's huge.
Like, it's such a big concept, and there's so many people who are like, oh, I think I'm only going to have 2. I think I'm only going to have 3. And I don't judge them, because I think I used to say, like, I probably want like 3 kids, but it's like God could do so much with even more kids. Like, the potential, like you said, is limitless, not just from those few children, but from their children. Like, more families come from each child you have. Like, I've never really zoomed out that much. So that's why when you and your husband had that talk, I was just enamored, and I went back and listened again. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, to really zoom out and like make all of these hard years worth it, and like hard days worth it. And that's my I have it written down here in my notes, genuine question for you that I've never asked, because yesterday I had like a really hard day. I've been struggling a lot with like some consistent headaches that we're figuring out on the chiropractic side. But, I had a really bad headache. It was my mom's birthday. So I was like, really want to make her a cake from scratch. And then I had to run errands, and I had to do this, and like my baby's crying, and I had a blowout, and Evelyn's crying. I mean, it's just all of the different.
She ruined her picture outfit before you even left the house.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like all of the things. Every time you turn around, I'm like, and I got to deal with this. And I know you've had days like that. Actually, just the other day, I stopped by your house. Like, I'm sick. I'm cooking dinner. My kids are going crazy. Like, the days are hard.
I didn't even talk to you. She's like, I'm bringing you food for your chickens. And I said, great, go do it.
Yeah,
I didn't even say hi to her.
But like, my genuine question is, what does your self-talk look like? Because you have this beautiful picture of what you want, of the Thanksgiving table in 20 years and the big impact you can make. So in the hard moment when you're scrubbing dishes and you don't feel good and you're having a tough day, like, what are you saying to yourself? Because you're like, you still want more kids.
Yeah.
so what motivates you specifically?
So I cry a lot. I never cried before I had kids, but I am very tough on myself when it is the nighttime, and I reflect on my day almost every day. And I'm like, gosh, I was so mean to Karen. It's pretty much the first thing, I think, because her and I have such a hard time. She's really mean to me too. Not that justifies it, but I reflect on my day and I'm like, I could have done this better. I could have done that better. And I don't try to beat myself up for it. And some days I do. But I'm constantly reflecting on like, how could I be better? And then the next day I'll say like, hey, Vincent or Karen, whoever it is, I'm like, I'm really sorry I yelled at you. Like, I'm really sorry I said those mean things. Like, mommy shouldn't do that. Like, I'm asking God to help me with it. If you could just also try to ask God to help you to listen the first time, you know, or even the second time, maybe not the 80th time. I was like, I don't want to yell at you. I don't want to do these things. So I talk through my feelings a lot with my kids. When I'm in it, I will verbally say out loud, I am not okay. I can't handle anymore to my kids. I'm not okay. I am, this is too much and I need to go outside. I send my kids outside. I'm a 90s parent for sure. I'm like, go outside. I can't.
And when I showed up at your house, they were outside.
They were outside. I literally am like, go away. And I love them. But I also have completely released every shackle of obsessive helicopter parenting, of making sensory boxes, of making everyday magical. I do not subscribe to that. And my house is messy and I go to bed with the dirty kitchen and the laundry can stay. I'm actually pretty good at folding laundry and putting it away. I don't have like the laundry on the couch all the time, but if it is on the couch for 24 hours, it means nothing about me as a person. Mm-hmm. If I sucked at mothering today, it does not mean I'm a sucky mother. Mm-hmm. Me and a girlfriend the other night were texting and she's like, I yelled so much today. I was like, oh gosh, I yelled so much today. I was like, yeah, but I bet you didn't say this. And she's like, oh no, I actually said that exact same thing. And I was like, we're awesome. And then her kids had said to her, we're going to go stay at a hotel. Like, we're leaving. We hate this family. We're out. So they'll say this to you, these little wonderful children that you've sacrificed everything for. They'll say that to you. I'm like, I don't want to be here. I'm going to run away. Like, okay. I said, you know what? I would have just said like, well, here, let me look up the hotels that are closest. These are the prices. Do you have $250 for tonight? No? Cool. Also, if you're going to start walking, you should go because it's almost dark. It's going to be 23 minutes of walking. Here's the map if you want to look at it real quick. Have a good time. And some people are like, I cannot believe you say it to my kids. I'm like, listen, you're threatening me. Mm-hmm. Like, you are threatening me and you're not going to make good on the threat. And I'm like, listen, I love you. And what they're saying is, I don't feel welcome here. And I'm like, you are always welcome here. I am mad at you. I'm mad at what you did. I'm mad at you hurt your sister or your brother. Like, I'm mad at what you did, but I still love you. You're always going to have a place here, but I know how you feel. But I also don't think you want to be outside in the dark by yourself. Mm-hmm. And just instead of being like, oh, I'm a terrible parent, my kids don't want to, like, I'm just like, you're being ridiculous. Did I want to run away as a kid? Heck yeah, I did. Totally. Planned it all. Packed the bag. Left on a Saturday morning. Was never to return. Guess when I came back? When the streetlights came on like I was supposed to. I can't leave my mom. Like,
what do I do out here alone?
But I just think like in the days that it's really hard and it sucks, like I just own that day sucked. Mm-hmm. Like my daughter turned 6 last weekend. And I think I've cried more about that than anything. She's 6. What? What do you mean she's 6? My son's going to be 8. My other daughter's going to be 3. My friend sent me a picture last night of when Honora was born and all of our kids are, I was like, where, what? Mm-hmm. That's how my son lives in my brain at 3 years old. I think 2 to 3 might be my favorite age in the whole world. And he can't be 8. Mm-hmm. Like it's so fast. And people's like, oh, the days are long and the years are short and blah, blah, blah. And people are like, oh, yeah, everyone always says that. I'm like, okay, well, wait till your kid's 8. And then you're going to be like, yeah. Like, what do you mean? It is hard. There are some horrible days. But you know what? Put chicken nuggets in the air fryer or go buy a pizza, mm-hmm. go to the beach, eat sand because it's going to blow in your food and just go. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Your mm-hmm. house doesn't have to be perfect. And so giving yourself grace, I think, is really important. And when you are not in a space to give yourself grace, like call a friend. Like, so mm-hmm. me and my girlfriend were just like, yeah, we were yellers and our kids want to move out. And I'm like, cool.
Same.
She's like, thanks for being there. I was like, yeah, we had another talk about somebody else. And then we were talking about it. And we're like, yeah, it's crazy. I would never do that. And then you're like, but if you were in their shoes, you would do that. Mm-hmm. You don't know what is going on, the dynamic in the marriage, the dynamic in the bank account. Mm-hmm. The dynamic in if they're entrepreneurs or not. Like, you don't know. Like, I think one of the craziest things about you and Alex is that you guys share a car.
Yeah. With 2 kids.
With 2 kids. And he has like to go places, new places every day, not planned.
But we were milking it until the very last second. So,
But because it's just, you have a financial stewarding that you guys have a plan for, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
and we're
where
just like used to it. It just works.
You just
for our
do
family
it,
right?
right?
Now.
People are always like, how do you do it all? You just do it. You have no choice. You wake up, the kids are still there. They never go. They're never gone. They're always there. It's always, every day is fresh with new mercies. That's why Vincent will be like, can I get the thing you took away back? And I'll be like, I don't know. He goes, every day has new mercies, Mom. Every day.
Don't you quote scripture to me, son.
But yeah, but like you guys have made this is a hard thing. Is it hard to have one car? Yes. Is it hard to have 2 car payments? Yes. Those are both hard. Is it hard to have a lot of kids? Yes. Is it hard to have no kids? Yes. Choose your hard. I do not think life is supposed to be easy, chill, straightforward, anything. That is not the way it has ever been.
And that's what your husband specifically said. He's like, if you want to have a life that's convenient or chill, having kids is not the way to get there.
No. And it's not a check-off thing.
Yeah. It's not like, okay, we had kids.
Yeah, we get a house, and then we have kids. We get to this financial peak or a career peak. Like, there's never a good time. And we had this conversation with my sister and brother-in-law, and they were like, well, what do you wish? What do you wish was different? I said, I wish that I had not tried to be a man when I had my kid. Like, just go back to work and like, I wasn't trying to be a man, but you understand what I'm saying. I like being my masculine and try to be the lead doctor and do all this stuff. Like, I wish that I had the space, because Vincent would have given it to me, to take more time with my first kid and to like grieve losing myself as a solo female person. Like, I think that my husband wishes that I wasn't 9 years older than him and that we did have 2 years together, like getting to know each other, because we really dated 3 months, got engaged, got married, got pregnant, opened a business. It's a lot. We didn't go on a honeymoon for 2 years. But again, I don't think a honeymoon is necessary because it wasn't in line with what our family goals were at that time. Right? And so there's never a good time to have a kid. It's always hard. You could have every single thing checked off and then you'll go to try and not be able to conceive, or go to try and have a kid that has a high medical need, or go to try and get twins. like it's not meant to be easy. So please don't look at life and go like, oh, it's so hard, I must be doing something wrong. God hates me, the universe hates me, whatever your belief system is. Like, it's just hard. There's no easy button on life. Our parents are going to die. People are going to die. People are going to get sick. Money is going to disappear. Businesses are going to fail. Like, there's so much evil in the world. I mean, kids drown. It's like one of the leading, people have kids they've lost to their backyard pool. I don't think there's much worse than that, right? Your kids get kidnapped, right? Which does not happen as much as people think it does. It's very sensationalized. It's actually safer to let your kids play in your front yard alone today in 2026 than it was in 1980.
That's pretty wild.
Look it up.
That's crazy. But I think that's like one of the most beautiful things about you is you just say chill through it all. I mean, maybe you don't think you say chill, but you're just like, things sometimes you explain to me that are going on in your family. I'm like, I would die. And you're just like, it's just life, man. Like, that's just how it is.
What can we do?
Snack.
What can you do?
Yeah.
What can you do? We lost a business. We lost every dollar we ever made and saved. And it flopped. And I don't think it flopped because of us. I think it flopped because people didn't come, and I will always blame Jacksonville and not me. I had the best prices. I had everything lined up. And people,
I was a big fan.
Yeah, everyone still says like yours was the best. I'm like, I know it was, but you didn't come. Anyway,
it was devastating.
It was devastating. It's still devastating to our family. Like, financially, we are screwed we're set back 8 years from what our family goals were.
Yeah.
Because we sunk it into this thing. And it's okay. God told us to do it. He told us to close it. We did the dang thing. And it is okay. Because there's always going to be more money. There's never going to be more time. We just have to wake up today, make better decisions, and move forward. I can't go back in time. So we're like, what do? You just do it. How do you wake up with 3 kids and you're pregnant? It's hard. Guess what? I have no choice.
Yeah. And I want more kids. I'm going to do it again.
And I want more kids. I'm going to do more kids, and I'm going to be 43, and everyone's going to be like, You're 43 and you're having your 5th kid? Yeah. And I hope that I'm 45 and having my 6th kid. And I hope that my womb is open then. Like, I hope that that is my life. And if it isn't, I'm getting dogs.
Mic drop. Okay.
Yeah, I will have a large family with animals.
And I love that you tell people not to make any permanent family decisions until their youngest
kid is 3.
is 3 years old.
3.
So dive into that for me.
Gosh.
Because so many people are like, they have 2 or 3 kids and they're like, we can't handle anymore. We're done. Vasectomy. Or they just make the decision to close the womb or whatever it is.
They're like, oh, it was really bad, or this is too much, and you have 2 kids. I think 0 to 1 is the hardest kid transition because you've never realized how selfish you are. You are so selfish. Tell me you're not after you have the kid. You're like, wow, I really was. I loved sleeping in. I loved going to brunch. I loved doing what I want. I loved
never thought I was selfish. I mean, I tend to be a very selfless person, but even now I'm like, I just would just choose what I do.
Whenever you want. When people are like, oh, I'm so tired and they don't have kids, I'm like, okay. Are you? And yes, you're tired because you cannot fathom how tired you could be. You're as tired as you've ever been. And so I don't say like, oh, you don't know tired to that person.
Yeah.
They're as tired as they have ever been. And then you don't know how much you can function on 2 hours of sleep.
Well, actually, even when we very first had our second kid, my husband's like, I don't know how like we're going to just keep going like this, you know, like he was helping me a lot. Obviously, like I was healing the first couple weeks and stuff. He's like, how are you just going to be a mom to both of them? Like he just couldn't even picture it. And neither could I. I mean, it's just like our capacity was growing, but that's exactly what happens. Like your capacity grows each time and you just,
well, the other thing is that the mom of 1 that you couldn't. Because you had to be born as a mom of 2 and he had to be born as a dad of 2. And just like you didn't figure out Lily in those first 2 weeks, you haven't figured out meeting those people, those parents of 2. So Vincent and I don't know how to be parents to 4 kids because we haven't been born yet. And accepting who they are when this baby comes. Because people are like, so when are you coming back to work? And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, hopefully August, maybe September. I was like, is it a hard baby? Is it an easy baby? Is it hard for my kids to adapt? Is it the best thing that ever happened? I don't know. Like I'm about to add a 4th kid, a 6th member of our family. I have no idea, but I'm 100% not coming back before my birthday. Like I know that's the earliest I would come back. We also usually go to Colorado in August. And I was like, maybe I don't want to come back before that. I don't know. I don't know. When people are like, yeah, I'm going back to work. I'm like, are you? Are you? Do you have to? And I love looking at a woman's face when she goes, what do you mean? I'm like, do you have to go back to work? Like it never occurred to her. And there'll be women who are like, oh yeah, we live on 2 incomes. We're dependent on my income, blah, 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 blah. I said, there's not a single path that you have that you could stay home longer. And they're like, well, I'm like, oh, well, it's a single path.
They didn't give them the permission or the space to even consider
I have a
that.
wonderful woman I take care of, and she is a lawyer, and she's like, I'm just really hesitant to give up my cases. And I said, okay, I want you to take those cases, and I want you to get physical copies of them, and then I want you to put them on top of your baby. And so every time that you think I need to go do those cases, you're going to pick them up and off and see that they're on top of your baby. Would you ever do that? And she's like, no. And I was like, every time you choose to not release that, I was like, give the cases away. I was like, those cases are not as important as your kid. She was like, that's a really good way to think about it. But with single you, like, and you're not single, you're married, hopefully, if you're having a kid, or in a stable relationship. But like non-mother you, she can't think that way. Then the baby came and she was like, oh yeah, I'm handing him off. I was like, yeah, girl. She's like, I mean, my job really needs me. I was like, do they? Yeah. Because I think he really needs you.
You just need a seasoned mom to tell you to look at it.
You only get one chance. That's what I told my sister-in-law. I was like, listen, I wish that I had savored Vincent more. I wish that, but he came with me to the office. I'm a spoiled brat because I'm an entrepreneur, and it's a really hard life because I'm an entrepreneur, but I can bring my kid to work with me to work. That's hard. That's a different kind of hard because I breastfeed, which is hard. It's the hardest thing ever.
So why do you tell people not to get a vasectomy or close their mind to having more children before 3?
Because you don't know how good you're going to be at it. I think everyone thinks they can't do it. So you're making a decision within the first few weeks of having a second kid.
Or even first year.
I mean, I had a woman whose vasectomy for her husband was booked when she was pregnant with the second kid or the third kid. And I'm like, you haven't met the kid. Like, and again, your family is your choice. I'm not choosing for you. You're asking my advice. My advice is hang out. See what his people are like, I'm done. I'm like, okay. I said, maybe not. And they're like, I am. I know I'm done. I just can't. I'm like, you can't right now because you haven't been in it.
Yeah, and because that's something you've told me before too, is I'm like, I just can't even picture having another baby yet. And you're like, because you're not meant to, because you're not pregnant. And once you do get pregnant, you still have 9 more months of growing the children you do have until it would come. Like, there's things God can do, there's things that would shift, there's perspectives you don't have. So like making such a final decision in such a hormonal, emotional time is not something you recommend.
No,
So.
And I think that you have to, I feel like at 3, you really lose your baby. Like, they're really a toddler now. If between 2 and 3, you still have some like baby moments, right? You're potty training. They say everything wrong. It's all that stuff. But 3, it's over. Like they're a kid.
And very independent.
Yeah, very independent. And like my daughter gets dressed every day. She's decided that she's only going to wear pajamas for the rest of her life. That she can go to the bathroom by herself when we're in a public bathroom, but not at home. She needs someone to hold her hand. Like, you know those things. Big feelings, big needs. But she's not a baby. And even in the last couple of weeks, as we're anticipating this baby coming, everyone's like, gosh, Honora's grown up so much. I'm like, I know. Like, so I saw a reel and the woman said, I don't think I'll ever be done. And I think there are other women who are done, and that's okay. But I don't think I'm one of those women. And so there's never going to be a feeling of doneness because I'm always going to wonder, like, who could else have been here?
Yeah, that's really what motivates me, is because sometimes on the hard days, like, how many more kids are we really going to have? But then I think about that. I'm like, what if one more kid would just completely change the family for the better, And I don't feel like I'll ever have a child that I regret having, So like that.
No one ever regrets
going.
having a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably an outlier there. But when people are like, they'll say, I wish I had more kids.
Yeah,
or I wish I had
exactly.
kids. Like you talk to, like, there's all these surveys of older people and everything. It's just the coolest thing, right? Like a person is put inside of your body with a completely unique soul, fingerprint, personality. Lots of what happens about them is shaped by your family, right? Nature versus nurture. But that nature part is there, like their temperament. Like Honora is silly. Like she's so silly. Like she's
hilarious.
And like I had a baby I lost that God told me the name of, like with Isaac, and he didn't let us have him, but brought him to heaven, right? And I look at Honora, and it's made me look at my other children, but like God wanted her here, and he wanted Isaac in heaven. And I still am sad that I don't get to know him or see him. I have a woman who was pregnant with her 3rd kid that was a boy, and then we were due within weeks of each other. And so I look at her family when she posts on Instagram, and it hurts my heart because I'm like, I should have a boy that old, but I should not, because it wasn't his destiny, right? It wasn't his story. But Isaac's story has helped me help so many women and men as they traverse losing a child.
So it's truly just putting your family in God's hands.
Yeah. But like Honora shouldn't exist. If Isaac lived, there's no Honora. And when you look at Honora, I'm like, how could we not? I can't even imagine our family without her. Today, Karen said, I wish I was the only kid in this family. I wish it was just me and the baby, because everyone's excited about the baby in the family.
For now.
And she goes,
crying
until they are destroying your mega child towers.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, Karen. I said, we want you in this family, because usually they're saying what they feel. Like she's probably saying, I feel like nobody wants me in this family. She was in trouble all morning. And I said, we want you in this family. And Vincent's like, not me, my little son. Of course. I said, Karen, you are all the joy in our family. You are so caring. You're so sweet. You are really being hard right now, and everyone is upset with you, and that's got to be hard, but we want you here. And just hearing what she's saying and not what and I was like, and how fun would it be if it was just you?
So quiet.
Who would you play with?
Ew.
She's a second, right?
Yeah.
The firstborn will be like, it would be awesome. Okay, so never say that to your firstborn.
Like, I remember when it was.
It was really great. And because Vincent is like, I don't want sisters. I don't want it to be a girl. I was like, well, God chose who's supposed to be for our family. He's like, why can't Karen be the oldest? That's what he said last night. I said, because God chose you to be the leader of our family. And it's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure put on firstborns, and you are made for it. And he's like, I don't want to be made for it. I go, well, you have to take that up with God. I didn't pick you first. Karen could have been first, but that's not what God chose. And I also think the coolest thing about having kids is like, you don't get to pick. You don't get to pick. You don't get to pick eye color, temperament, nothing. It's just, you're literally gambling with your genes.
But if you had to pick, you would have a blue-eyed boy.
Yes, if God's taking requests for this pregnancy, it is a blue-eyed boy. He can still look Puerto Rican. I think my husband's very handsome. I don't care that my kids look like him.
Tan skin's great.
Yeah, it's great. Imagine a tan, blue-eyed, dark-haired boy. Oh, he'd slay. I'd have to teach him not to be a jerk, because the better looking you are, the less you have to work for people to be nice to you. And I'm making sure that my first son is who's very handsome, is a nerd. So just wants to dress
that way
up
he
as,
has it all.
Yeah, the Lord of the Ring characters, and reads fantasy novels and like loves Harry Potter. Like, those are my goals.
I love it.
Like, don't be cool. Like, be really good looking and a nerd. I feel like that's the safest
Best
place.
combo.
And obviously I think he's good looking, but other people tell me that. I have beautiful kids. They're gorgeous kids. They're Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
They are so good looking.
So adorable.
And I tell Karen can't walk anywhere without at least 10 people saying to her, you are so beautiful. Your hair is so
adorable.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And she loves to wear dresses. She loves to look nice. And she like kind of like wallflowers up. And I said, hey, Karen,
You're going to hear it your whole life.
I'm like, everyone is going to compliment you. So the best thing you can do is learn to say thank you. I said, if it makes you uncomfortable, you can always walk away. But also know that because you are so beautiful and so many people say that to you, they're always watching you. So whether you're choosing to do good or choosing to do evil, they're going to see you. And she was like, I mean, I'm talking to my 6-year-old this way, but this is the way we talk in our family.
Yeah,
Like,
in real life scenarios.
My son is like, I don't want to be the leader. I was like, God chose you to be the leader, Vincent, because these girls are not going to have us forever. You're the longest relationship you have in the world is your siblings. No one else, not your husband, wife, your kids. Nobody has a longer relationship with you than your siblings.
Actually, that's another main point that was in that same talk I was talking about, like with the big family, is you were talking about how, unfortunately your mom passed away sooner than you wish, because you wanted, more of her wisdom and more of her to tell you how you were as a child. So you only have your siblings. Like, when you explained that to me, that wrecked me in the best way. Like, because I deeply love my siblings. And actually, even I have a brother and a sister. And my sister told me one time, isn't it crazy that our brother has 2 sisters, but we have a brother and a sister? And I'm like, what? Like,
He has no brothers.
Giving your children siblings is such a gift. And I love my siblings so much that, like, it's such a beautiful thing that as parents now on the other side, we get to steward, is like creating a family.
And some people have horrible relationships with their siblings,
So it's probably
and their
hard for them to
parents.
see, yeah.
Or there are people who successfully had one kid and then they had secondary infertility and they couldn't. So if you're hearing this is hurting your heart, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, you have awesome siblings. Maybe you've got one dummy, right? Some drug addict or somebody who stole money or whatever. You might have a dummy, right? And that's okay. I always tell my husband, I'm like, we have to have a lot because one of them's going to be the dummy. And he's like, don't say that over our family. And I'm like, I am just, and he's like, who's the dummy in your family? And I'm not going to record that.
We'll talk off record.
We'll talk about that off record. And I think we've all been the dummy, except for my firstborn sister. We've done crazy stuff that's probably made our mom just, but my mom died when I was 34, and my first sister had 1 daughter. My second sister had 2 daughters. They're 15 years older than me. They're from my mom's first marriage. My brother had met his wife and they had 2 kids. Vincent, my son, and his second kid were born within a month of each other. My mom came down for her 70th birthday, so she had all of her second set of kids, grandkids with her around her. That's when she had the stroke and then ended up passing away. And I never got to raise a kid with my mom. Like, he had his daughter. And again, boys are different. It's very different for the wife's mom versus the mother-in-law, right? But like, she loved Sarah. I remember my mom talking about my niece Sarah and just being like, oh, she reminds me of you. She does these little bad things and she has a twinkle in her eye and I just laugh at her. And I think my mom would have so much fun with Karen and how much she really makes me have to count to 10, 385 times a day. But I don't remember. And my dad had passed away 3 years before that. I don't remember. I don't know what I was like as a baby. I don't know what I was like as a 5-year-old, but my sister Dawn does. Mm-hmm. And so I can ask her, what was I like? And she was 15. Mm-hmm. So like she remembers a lot, but she doesn't remember everything. Mm-hmm. She remembers how hard of a teenager I was and how hard of a kid I was. I never will ever not know all the pranks that I pulled, or that I locked my brother in a chest freezer, or he sent him down a hill on rollerblades and he broke his arm, things like that. Like I know all the things I did wrong. My brother and I are 13 months apart, so we're practically twins.
But you got to hear all of that from your sister.
Yeah, I get to hear all of that from my sister, which is a gift. I could have nothing. Mm-hmm. And we didn't take pictures in the 90s like we take pictures. I don't really have family pictures. I don't have a ton of that. And because my brother Steve, my sister Kelly's husband, they've been together since before I was born, he took pictures. There's more pictures of our family because he's in it. Mm-hmm. Than there would have been without him. Yeah. Again, that's the thing you don't know. You don't know who your kid's going to marry and what they're going to bring into the family. Right? And like there's this incredible book. It's called Family Revision by Jeremy Pryor. You should read it. But the Pryors are our family mentors. So we're a part of, they have a thing called Family Teams and we're in it. And that's where we learned a lot of like being legacy minded with our family. And their kids have almost all been married now in the last 2 years, and they're having kids and they're having grandkids for the first time, which is like what the whole point of Family Revision is.
Now they're going to have 17 new books come out.
And they're just like, this is it. This is what we worked for. But I talked about having fear about who my kids would marry. And they were like, we had the same fears. And then one of our kids married a girl who didn't come from a great family. And she didn't have the faith that we have and all this stuff. And we worried about it. And we prayed about it. And we trusted our kid and all this stuff. And this girl that has come into their family is more about their family than any of them are. Like they are all taking it for granted. Mm-hmm. And I would not say that like heavily, but like they just like, wow, this is our family. We get together for dinner every Friday. We all live on the same street now. Like we do life together as a family.
She appreciates it
and
so much
she
more.
never had that. So when they're out of town, she's planning the Friday night Shabbat. Oh. She's doing these things. Like she's so in. That's something God did. And like, that was such a comforting thing for April to share with me, because I was like, gosh, because I don't feel like I am the person that my mother-in-law would have picked for my husband. I don't think I am. If she had a whole lot of people, I would not even be in the top 5. But I am who God put together with him. And there's some days where I'm like, this is really hard. Or are you really sure this is who I'm supposed to be married to, Lord? My goodness. But when I go through navigating 2020, navigating business, navigating losing our kids, navigating losing our business, navigating all that stuff, I would not have wanted to do with any other schmuck I ever dated. Mm-hmm. Idiots. What was I thinking? Mm-hmm. I wasn't thinking. I didn't even have a fully formed brain, because you don't have a whole brain until you're 25. And so for me, I sit and I think about my son's wife, right? Because the thing that is the big worry is you keep your daughters and you lose your sons, which is not biblical. In the Bible, you kept everybody.
But culturally, unfortunately.
And I always joke, because I'm an orphan, I'm the best one to be married to, because I don't have anywhere to go for Christmas and Thanksgiving. You don't have to share me. There's no split days. There's no who's coming where. I'm just in. And so I am just a Farrar, and this is what I do. And so I always tell people, pray for an orphan and love her.
Bring her into the family.
Yes, but I think about, who will my son marry, and what will she be like? And I worry about it, which is stupid because I can't control anything. But I pray for her, and I pray that we raise him in a way. And I'm very glad that I'm easily going to keep my daughters, but I could lose them to some also other sick, awesome family, right? That I'm going to have an arranged marriage with, because I now understand why people had arranged marriages.
You're like, oh, it all makes sense now.
It all makes sense now. I thought it was so controlling. It's just because you love your kids. You don't want them to marry a loser.
So your hand selecting.
I'm not doing arranged marriage. I'm just going to do highly suggestive marrying. I don't get a pick. But, as you can tell, I don't keep my opinion to myself. and so I pray for her. I pray for his wife. I pray for my kids, my daughter's husbands. And I pray that I'm raising them to be great spouses that want to have lots of kids. Because that means, I think, is a great imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Mm-hmm. So if all my kids become chiropractors and have large families, I crushed it, right? But if I have a kid who's like, I'm not having any kids, which I did say for a long time, they're like, I hate what family meant in that season. But also, if you're 15, you hate everything about your family. So take it with a grain of salt. But when you get to those things, like, well, somebody's like, well, I never want to have kids. Like, okay, like, you want to dig into that. And a lot of times it is a family dynamic that made them feel that way. Or it's they've seen a family that they're like, I see you guys, you're stressed all the time. You have all these kids. I'm like, it's hard, but it's also beautiful. So those are like lots of things to think about when you're thinking about how many kids you want. Don't pick how many kids you want to have because it fits in a car.
Which is so true. We were like, where are you going to fit them? Like, we'll cross that bridge.
First thing somebody said to me when I said I want 2 more kids, what are you going to put them in? How are you going to travel? We're going to drive. Where do you put the luggage? I was like, what a crazy conversation to have. And it's okay.
But that's why you zoom out and look at it from a much bigger perspective.
I'll figure that out.
There's going to be inconveniences, and you're very familiar with that.
Yeah. Too bad we don't have wagons and horses anymore. You can just fill as many kids in the back of a wagon as possible.
You truly were meant for the 1800s.
I really was. I love the 1800s so much.
I'm having to use so much self-control right now because like I said, I've learned so much from you, and I want to talk to you for like 4 more hours, but I know your children are probably needing mom back.
We need to switch kids.
Yeah. So the last couple just like hot takes that I want to just bring up super quickly is you are a family who does not do snacking between meals, and you also are not into sleep schedules and napping, which is something that stresses a lot of moms out. So I just want you to free up some moms here. Let's start with the snacking. There's no snacking between meals. You have very few things that you like offer them between meals that are okay in your family. So dive into that quickly for me.
French Kids Eat Everything is the book to read for this, for a lot of background. Don't think I'm just some crazy parent who denies her children. My kids eat 2 meals a day really well and 1 not well with no snacks. And so when somebody's like, oh, I have a picky eater, they're never eating dinner, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, how many snacks do they have? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, 35 minutes before dinner, what are they asking for? What are you feeding them? What are you doing? And so once we read this book and we did a talk about it, it's on our YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. We stopped doing snacks except for apples, oranges, and cheese. And you can't have a snack less than an hour and a half before a meal. And mostly we go, wow, you're hungry. And Nora said this morning, are you hungry? I'm like, well, you should have eaten your breakfast. Because she had 2 eggs and a piece of toast. Like, if you're 3 years old, 2 eggs and a piece of toast is a lot of food, unless you're a boy. And then you can probably eat 4 eggs and a piece of toast if you ask my son. Mm-hmm. He's a big eater. And so that limitation has freed up us budget-wise. It has freed up, like, things. We have snacks on vacation. Mm-hmm. So we do have times of snacks. If I know that we're going to be out all day, then I will have snacks. There are exceptions to this rule, but if we are having our normal Monday through Thursday night, our week Monday through Thursday is identical every week. We can set the rhythm. There's no snacks there. But if we are going on an adventure, we're going to have a picnic, whatever, we're going on a hike and we are going to be burning more calories than traditional, like, we'll do a snack then. But really, snacking is terrible for your blood sugar. As a diabetic nation that we have, it is not conducive to having a good meal. And it's really a quick carb. There's not a snack that's not a quick carb. Mm-hmm. So it's giving your kid sugar crashes, which leads to poor behavior. So we've seen lots of improvements in our kids eating and in their behavior when they're well fed and they know that this meal is their chance to eat. Mm-hmm. It also helps to have a last call for drinking and eating for potty training's sake.
Yeah. But I'm also seeing the fruit of that, not the potty training part at night. I'm still working on that. But with my daughter, like the other day, she's like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, okay, do you want an apple? Or I think I only had like a couple like things with us, wherever we were. And she's like, no, I don't want that. No, I'm like, okay, well, I have a meat stick or a banana. I think it was banana, not apple. I was like, well, I have a meat stick and banana. She's like, no, I want a fruit bar. No, I want a pouch. No, I want.
And
I'm
you're
like,
not hungry.
I'm like, no, mommy doesn't have that. And I really, truly, we were just out longer than I thought. And a pouch with 5 grams of protein, you know, that at least has a little protein. It's not all carbs, is one of the things I usually have for her. And she's like, no, I want a pouch. And she's just digging through the backpack. I'm like, sweetheart, it's not there. I have a meat stick or you can have this banana. And she's like, no. 30 minutes later, she opened the meat stick and she's just literally like eating half. She never eats a meat stick. That's usually something I bring for myself, but I offered it to her. She didn't want it, but she was hungry enough that she ate that.
30 minutes later, when she got through the craving, like the sugar hit, right, from whatever carb she had. And kids can process carbs and stuff way better than we can. But if you're truly hungry, you will take what I have to offer you, or you're bored.
Yeah.
Or I'll say, you sound thirsty. A lot of people say they're hungry when they're thirsty. So I'm like, have some water. And it's a discipline, but it's also a discipline to eat. Like, it's so easy to just hand your kid a pack of organic gummies and call it and be like, oh, they're going to leave me alone for a second. And they never eat in a stroller. They never eat in the car. They're always sitting. Yeah, they're always sitting to eat. It's something you do together. It is an anchor. So if my kids want to have a snack board, like we'll cut up apples and I'll put peanut butter in a thing and I'll like do like a little thing. If I'm like really like Nora just woke up from a nap and they've been swimming in the pool, like I will bring that out to the side of the pool and they will feast. And it's fun and it's this moment and everybody gets around it. And it's like, even when we do our nature group, like the kids that's when they have the most snacks. Like, oh yeah, it's nature group because everybody else has snacks. So you bring us snacks. It's great. But then we have a crappy dinner. But I know we're going to have a crappy dinner. So do I make a high effort dinner that night on Wednesday nights? No, I might make a hamburgers and cut my daughter's one in half and give them each half so that we have a win. So there's always a conversation around food. And my kids know what macros are. They know that there's proteins, fats, and carbs, and that you need to have those things, and that protein is what makes you tall and have muscles, and that fat is going to help you sleep and all this stuff. And so we like literally, like carbs is quick energy. And so we talk about those things that you need them, but this is, and so my kids will be like, can I have dessert if I just eat my meat? And our answer is yes. If you eat the protein on your plate, then we can talk about dessert. And we don't have dessert every night. So there's a lot of, and that is not how we raised Vincent. We arrived here 3 kids in.
Yeah, but it's just truly, I guess what I hear you saying is it's truly just a discipline as a parent rather than saying I have a picky eater. And I mean, of course, like kids have preferences and I'm not saying that's total BS, but it's just building your habits and how you speak about food and how you run the family that truly makes a difference.
And I have a picky eater.
Yeah.
And she's probably hungry a lot.
And you tell them, my favorite line I've learned from you in this sense is, you're just learning to like it. Oh, you don't like it yet, but you will when you're older. And I know that comes from the book.
Today, Karen ate a whole egg without anything. No ketchup, no toast, no anything. And she came in so proud to our room and she said, I ate all of Daddy's eggs. I think I might like them now. And what we said was, well, you must be 6. Because she just had a birthday.
Yep.
You must be 6.
Yeah.
And that's all it was. Because you will like it when you're bigger. Vincent tries crab, tries snails, tries all this stuff. He's like, oh, I'm big. I'll try it. And he's like, I didn't like it. I go, oh, cool. You'll like it when you're bigger. I like it.
I love that line. I use that with my
French
daughter all
kids
the
eat
time.
everything.
And I just keep offering it, which has paid off already because she used to always like taste cucumbers and wince away. And I juice with her and I keep her involved in like making the food and she touches cucumbers and there's a certain meal I make that involves cucumbers. And I would just still put them on her plate even though I'm like, she never eats them. Eventually she's like, I want more cucumbers. I'm like, oh, you started to like them because you're getting so big. It must be because you're 2 now. You know, so I think keeping that open-ended is just like something that our culture needs more of. So I really want to include
French
that in this
kids eat
podcast.
everything. There's so many good parenting books out there. I hate reading nonfiction, but I will do it. And French kids eat everything. The Danish Way of Parenting, Hunt, Gather, Parent. All phenomenal books. The Whole Brain Child is a really great book for you not to try to get your kid to be able to just write their name when they're 4. It's a terrible idea for their brain development.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna have to save that for an episode I do with
Yes.
your husband, because that's a whole nother.
Well, and we
thing.
went through all those books on our YouTube channel. So if you go
Yeah.
to Dr. Bridget and Vincent Farrar on YouTube, you can see us go through those books and talk. So if you're like, gosh, yeah, you should ask him about it for sure.
And also your course. I did want to make sure that we plug your course, because for the first 6 weeks, it's the toughest time really that women go through, is like the crazy hormonal transition, the identity shift. You're now responsible for this tiny little life you have no training for, and you talk a lot about that. So I've really enjoyed your course. I appreciate you sharing, all of your wisdom in there. So I want to make sure people know to plug in there. I did mention something else I want to make sure we covered, so we don't leave people on a cliffhanger by accident, but you are very into the 90s way of napping and just fall asleep anywhere.
Yeah, you remember the pictures. Yeah, you remember the pictures where you're like asleep in a toy box, where you're like, so we do not nap after 4 p.m. So we doing everything I can to scream in the car to keep Honora awake if we're driving after 4 p.m. But your kid being on this rigorous nap schedule, which your first kid always is, because they get a completely silent nap in a blocked out room in your home. I have so many people who, when they have a kid, they're like, oh yeah, sorry, we can't come. That's their nap time. Like, that is not how you're going to roll with your fourth kid. One of the things that I say is you should treat every kid like it's your fifth kid. If you have 4 kids, people are like, well, I know you guys are going to be home for a while. I'm like, I cannot be home once I have this baby. As soon as I am not hemorrhaging blood, like, we are going to the beach, because I have an 8, 6, and 3-year-old that have to move their body. So yes, have your sacred time with your first, have your nap schedule. It is going to paralyze you. It's going to stop you from doing things. But if you create a resilient baby who naps on you, who can fall asleep anywhere, like all this stuff, because you don't cater to their every whim, it is really going to help you out. Do kids need naps? Yes. Do you need to be in prison for those naps? No. Will your kids sleep in the car more than they ever should? Yes. Unless you have a person who hates the car seat, then you'll have a different life.
So you mean you don't obsess over like wake windows?
No, because you wouldn't with your fourth kid. Like, that's, if I could just like beat anything into any first time mom's head. Like, this is not parenting. You have nothing else to think about. It's so intense. And they're like, my first is anxious. You're anxious. Calm down. Like, you're not, if they don't sleep, they're not ruined. And you know what's great about missing a nap or having a short nap? They're better bedtime.
Nighttime,
And then you're like, well, they're so tired, they're not going to sleep. Does that happen? Yes, but it's not typical.
Yeah.
And Nora fell asleep at 7 o'clock the other night. My husband was like, oh, is this okay? I was like, no, she didn't have a nap. It's going to be fine. Did she wake up at 6 instead of 7? Yeah. Is that terrible? No.
Yeah. I for sure love that. I learned that from you, treat your first kid like your fifth. It saved me very early on. There's just one scenario that it specifically applied to was my husband. Like, we would go out to eat, and this is when my daughter like turned 1. She was eating more foods, but sometimes she'd have an upset stomach if she had some chips at Taco Lu, or if she, like had fried food, or we gave her Chick-fil-A because we were traveling or whatever. And there's a certain time where, like, you'd been telling me this, but I hang out with you a lot. My husband doesn't. So this has been beat into my head. And so my husband's like, should we just always make sure we have food for her? Like, if we're going out to eat, we'll just like make sure we bring her. I'm like, I hear Dr. Bridget in the back of my head saying, like, if you have 4 kids, you're not going to bring everybody their own meal if just the parents are going out to eat. Like, that just makes no sense. So I like zoom out, and I'm like, if we're not going to do it forever, I'm not wasting my time doing it right now. And that saved me a lot as a first time mom. And that's why, going back full circle, when you said, hang out with moms who have more kids than you really truly is such a blessing, because little things like that I picked up on. I could have been stressing myself out packing a little lunchbox every time we go out to eat for my daughter, but you saved us. And
and I had a friend who was just not feeding her kid. She was like, oh, well, he doesn't eat at the restaurant. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, I don't want to give him that food. I said, then cook a pound of ground beef on Monday. Keep it in the fridge and bring it with you wherever you go. You have to feed your kid. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, he's hungry. Feed your kid. And she was like, I was like, you cannot insulate them from everything. It was her second kid, and she, had done everything perfect for her first kid. I was like, you can't do everything well. If this is really important to you, if you really want to control what your kid eats, having him not eat and completely depend on your breast milk when he's in this developmental window is not enough. I was like, I'm just going to stand in this gap, and I'm going to say this hard thing. And I was like, but you don't have to have this extravagant thing. Like, literally cook a pound of ground beef, keep it in the freezer. and just have it in little things, and it'll thaw in your bag, and then you can give it. And people are like, oh, is that food safe? Yes, it's food safe, guys. Like, oh my gosh.
That's a whole nother subject.
This is not 4 days of ground beef sitting in your diaper bag that you're giving your kid. It's the same day. Like, oh my goodness. But like, your kid needs to eat. And if we would just go, we would go out to eat. We went out to eat a lot on Tuesday nights, and Honora would come, and I would just order her 3 shrimp with nothing on them. And I would cut up the shrimp, and I would put it in front of her, and she would eat it. And that was what we gave her. Like, it doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't have to be hard. The people can make a plain chicken. Is that the happiest chicken or not farm-raised shrimp? No. But you're at a restaurant. What are you expecting? Like,
and when you have more kids, what are you really going to do?
What are you going to do? You know what your kids are going to eat when you have 4? Chicken tenders and seed oil fries. And they're going to want lemonade with 68 grams of sugar that they make in the back. Because we don't do, my son now will go, do you make your lemonade here, or does it come off the machine? And in his face, he's like, say you make it, say you make it, say you make it. I know you'll say yes. And they're like, we make it here. He's like, I'll have lemonade. He's like so excited because he knows that.
Yeah, you set the standard.
Yeah, Minute Maid lemonade has like so much dye in it.
Yeah.
And there, it might be country time back there, and I don't know. But the rule we set was, if they make it, you can have it. And so he's riding that train right now, 8 years old. And but also my kid just talked to the waiter.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like that
is a life skill. Mm-hmm.
So is he getting too much sugar in his lemonade? Yeah. But did he have a eloquent conversation? And then the waitress was like, well, why? And he goes, well, it has colors in it. Bad colors is bad for your brain.
Now he's educating an adult.
And now he's educating an adult at 7 years old. And then Karen's like, I want lemonade. I go, well, you don't get it if you don't ask for it. And so she has to order from it. Because like, you can't, my husband wouldn't call the pizza place when we got married. He's like, well, you could do it. I was like, wait a minute, what? And he's introverted. God love him. He can call anybody, but he doesn't want to. And I was like, why? And he's like, I just don't want to talk to them. And I have people in my life that are like, oh, well, what if they don't have what we want? And they're paralyzed by this thing. And I was like, they're like, so they don't have the lemonade. He's like, okay, I'll have half and half tea. Half and half tea, pesticide-laden tea with sugar in it that was made with tap water. Yes, I let my kids have half and half tea at a restaurant.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh. But you know what? At home, they've never had soda.
80-20, you know?
Yeah, I do. So they make so many good decisions at home. Mm-hmm. So we go to a restaurant. Now this whole lab-grown meat thing has really gotten me itchy. So I don't know how much we're going to be eating.
So now we're just going to grown
We're
food.
just going to have chickens in our backyard and eat them. So
thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
We could talk forever, and I want to respect your time.
Oh, it's cool. Well, if
anybody
wants more of us, we have a YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. We have a fantastic Instagram.
Yeah.
Slancha Chiropractic. Looks like Slaint. But if you search Bridget and Vincent Ferrari, you'll find us. We're the only Ferraris. We're the only Slancha Chiropractic that are chiropractors, I should say. And we do have a course that we are making it's called You Had a Baby, Now What? It's the instruction manual that everyone wishes they had. That's not out yet, but it will be out soon. Or maybe it'll be out when we publish this podcast. But we love helping parents. We love helping families. And we have a lot of free crap, a lot of free resources out there. So if so much. And if you live in Jacksonville and you want to hang out, you should come. We have the Village every Thursday morning from 10:30 to 12-ish. Mm-hmm. Depends on what the moms need that day. But we just sit around and air our grievances, is what I like to call it, and ask for help and commiseration and feeling not alone, because women do need that. Mm-hmm. And even husbands have come. Alex has come, and he's like, I have some questions.
Yeah. Well, because I try to articulate all of this wisdom that you've given to me, and I try to tell him, and he's like, I don't get it. I need a better explanation. And I'm like, we got
a review for the course, and my favorite thing that they said was, this is a course that is for dads too, and it feels like everything's only ever for moms. And so we are very pro-dad. We're very pro-empowerment of dad. We are very excited for him to be a part of the preconception, pregnancy, and postpartum experience. You do not have to wait till your kid is 3 to be a good parent, which is what a lot of dads don't really connect with their kids till they are a person. Mm-hmm. And so, well, thanks for having me. But if there's anything that we can answer, you can always ask Megan for our contact or our links. I'm sure that you can make that happen, or there can be something attached to this.
You give of yourself so freely, so many resources, so much wisdom. I appreciate you.
I'm a boomer, basically, so I have no idea how to link anything, but we exist, and you can Google us, and you can find a lot of stuff. But we just want everyone to have a empowered parenting. It might not be positive parenting experience. It might not be the perfect, but it would, if it could be empowered and you could feel that you have a mission and a vision and you know how to realize that. That's what we would want everyone from preconception all the way through parenting is what we would love to help people do.
Love that. Well, you're doing a great job and you've saved my life. You've been a huge blessing. So thanks for your time.
Thanks, Megan.